I made $500,000 with Amazon FBA, and I started my business with $0.
And we're going to share with you exactly what her product is, how she got started, and all of her numbers, including her revenue, her product costs, all the different Amazon FBA fees, and a bunch of other costs that nobody talks about, and the final profit at the end of this video.
And at the end of the video, I'll share the biggest mistake I made that cost me over $100,000.
So make sure to like this video because Kalina is going to share exactly how she makes money online. And Kalina, what is your product and how did you get started?
Sure. So my product is Big Talk, which is a question card game that inspires and helps people to skip the small talk to make more meaningful connections in life. And I started Big Talk because 10 years ago, I moved to a new city for the first time and felt really lonely. And I was meeting a lot of people, but the conversations felt kind of superficial. So one night I was having a deep conversation with a friend and I said, wow, I wish more conversations could be like this. And he said, yeah, screw small talk. So immediately the name Big Talk came into my mind. And the following summer, I decided to try out an experiment where I walked up to strangers and skipped the small talk with them to ask them, what do you want to do before you die? And the video sort of went viral on YouTube, and I gave a TEDx talk that got over 6 million views, and soon people all over the world were asking me for help with how to make Big Talk and join the Big Talk movement. So I started giving events and workshops where people could come and skip the small talk with one another, and I was using the card game as a tool. And soon I started selling the card game, and then it got on Amazon, and the rest is history.
And how much did it cost you to start creating this product? I mean, the first cost you had is design. How much did it cost you to design the product?
$0 because I traded illustrating my friend's children's book for her designing the card game packaging. And the rest was just questions that I uploaded onto a printing website.
And you set it up so people could buy directly from this website and you only get charged once you get a sale. So it's kind of a print on demand. Explain how that works.
Totally. It was like passive income. So I uploaded questions and the card game box design. And then I just put a link on my Big Talk website that people could order the Big Talk card game if they wanted it. And so people would order it and I would get a cut of it. And so it was passive income. So I really had no startup costs.
And you started making a profit from this. And this eventually led to you being able to get onto Amazon. Talk about why did you join Amazon? How did you get started with Amazon?
Sure. So one day I got an email from someone who worked at Amazon that said, hi, Kalina, my boss's boss's boss saw your TEDx talk and really wants you to get Big Talk on Amazon because he's inspired by your story. I actually had my hand held through the process. I mean, now there's so many forums and things you can look up with how to upload a product onto Amazon. But at the time, they helped me create the product listing and send shipments to FBA. So that was the first time that I ordered bulk quantities of the card game to send to Amazon.
And for those people that don't know, the way that Amazon or Amazon FBA works is you can sell on Amazon's giant platform. They're a $1 trillion company. They have over 160 million prime customers and counting. And if you use the FBA model, which stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, you have to order bulk your product. You take that product, you ship it into Amazon's warehouse, and every time you get a sale, Amazon will pick, pack, and ship your product out. This also makes it so that your product is Prime eligible. Now, the problem with this is you have to do a big production run. So you were printing your product on demand, but now all of a sudden you have to buy your product in bulk. How much did it cost you, and how many units did you purchase for your first run?
My first run, I probably purchased like a few hundred units. I'm really risk averse, so even that really scared me. But I was selling, at least a few hundred a year through the print on demand service. So it was probably like a few hundred. And eventually now I just order 1,000 decks at a time of the card game and ship them to Amazon.
And that costs you around $4,000, but it sounds like at first you ordered just a few hundred just to test the water, right?
Yes, totally. And I would see on Amazon, you can tell when your inventory is running low and you can replenish it. So each time I would order a few more, eventually getting up to 1,000 units.
And this is when your sales really started to explode. And this is why I also recommend selling on Amazon, because it is the world's largest e-commerce platform. And last year alone, they did over $400 billion of sales on their website. And 2/3 of all those sales are from third-party sellers like me, like Kalina, and like you if you want to sell on Amazon. And Kalina, you've done over $500,000 in sales on Amazon, but that didn't happen overnight. Let's talk about the first year that you launched Big Talk on Amazon. How much in revenue did you do?
The first year, I did about $104,000 in revenue. And that was really all people who had just seen my TEDx talk and had heard about Big Talk and word of mouth started buying the product on Amazon.
Did you do anything to launch your product? Like it's all just from that, or how did people find out about this?
Honestly, yeah, it was pretty much just like word of mouth stuff. I think at that time, maybe I created an Instagram for Big Talk and, created a new website that was like a little more sleek and clean and had a direct link to buy the card game to Amazon.
So in her first year selling on Amazon, she did over $100,000. But as you know, if you watch this channel, revenue is not profit. You had a lot of costs associated with selling on Amazon. And the first cost you had is you had to pay for all those products that you sold. How much did it cost you to manufacture all those products?
Yeah, to manufacture the products, it was about $17,000.
And then after that, there's also a 15% fee just to sell on the Amazon platform. How much did you pay for the Amazon selling fee?
That was about $16,000.
Another fee you have to pay when selling on Amazon is the Amazon FBA pick and pack fee. This is the fee that Amazon charges you every time you get an order for them to pick, pack, and ship your product out to the customer. How much did you spend on that fee?
That was about $15,000.
On top of that, when starting a business, there's always other costs. What kind of other costs did you have with your business?
Yeah, I mean, there's everything from getting the website set up to, buying video editing software to graphic design editing software to paperwork for starting the LLC for Big Talk and turning it into an official business. So that was probably around $3,000.
And in total, in your first year ever selling on Amazon, how much in profit did you actually make?
Around $49,000.
Which is pretty amazing for something that you were considering a side hustle at the time.
Yeah, I thought it was my side hustle, but I guess it ended up becoming my main hustle.
Then in your second year selling this product on Amazon, there's a few really interesting things that happened. What happened in your second year selling on Amazon?
My second year, I actually got a research grant to go to Singapore for a year to research ways to use Big Talk to build empathy across cultures. And I was using the card game as part of my research project. So I got a research grant through that, and then eventually started getting paid for giving speaking engagements and workshops at companies and schools and different kinds of organizations. So this whole other revenue stream came from Big Talk.
How much money did you make from the speaking engagements?
Probably like $11,000 during that year. And then the Fulbright grant was like $29,000.
And this is a huge insight. When you're selling a product on Amazon, when you're starting any type of business, you don't only need to make money from your product. There's all kinds of other revenue streams that open up. And this is what I call the flywheel. This is something that Jeff Bezos came up with. And it's this idea that you can make money with one thing and you make money with another thing. And those things start to spiral and grow each other. And what about on Amazon in this second year of you selling? How much money did you do in revenue?
Yeah, that one was about $88,000.
And then once you subtract all the different product costs, the Amazon selling fees, everything else, how much profit did you make in that second year?
About $41,000.
And why do you think that the revenue sales numbers dropped your second year selling on Amazon?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the second year I wasn't focused on the card game at all. It was just kind of already set up there and already on Amazon, and I was focused on the speaking engagements. And I think a lot of the initial customers were the people who saw the TED Talk when it first blew up, and so it had the initial hype for Big Talk. So people who were the most interested in Big Talk bought it right away.
Were you doing anything to market the product?
No.
So this is relatively passive income. So it was about $40,000 in passive income in your second year selling on Amazon. Plus, when you add in all the money you made from the speaking engagements and all the other things, you actually made a little bit more in your second year.
Yeah.
What about your third year selling on Amazon? Anything interesting that happened?
Yeah, so that was the year I started traveling a lot to give talks about Big Talk. I went to Australia, I went to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and also I was back and forth in the US. So I got like a gig giving Big Talk workshops in Kazakhstan for a couple weeks for like $6,000, and then also a few other speaking engagements as well.
So this product's actually supporting your lifestyle and opening up new opportunities.
Yeah, in a crazy way it was and is.
And let's break down year number 3 numbers on Amazon. What was the revenue for year 3?
Yeah, really similar to year 2, $89,000.
And then once we subtract out all the product costs, all the other costs, what was the profit from year 3?
Again, very similar to year 2, $41,000.
And during this time, were you doing anything to grow the brand, grow the product?
I think just, traveling and giving speaking engagements naturally spread Big Talk in a grassroots sort of way.
But most of these sales were from Amazon US, right?
True.
So it's still relatively $40,000 in passive income.
Yeah.
And that brings us to year 4, which was 2020. Obviously, a few big things happened during that year, but there was one thing that you did that made an extra $18,000 for the business. You want to talk about what that is?
Yeah, sure. So someone had seen the original card game that I was selling on Amazon, and he worked for Jay Shetty's Genius program. So he reached out to me about doing a collaboration for a custom Big Talk Genius card deck. So they placed a bulk order of cards, and that was $18,000 in revenue.
And in addition to that, you started a Shopify website. How much money did you make off the Shopify website in this year?
Shopify, about $3,700, and that was my first year selling on Shopify.
And obviously, since it was 2020 and everyone was inside, you had to stop doing events, but what'd you do instead?
Yeah, so a lot of my speaking engagements got canceled, but I started doing virtual Big Talk events, and a lot of them were for free. I was just doing it to keep raising awareness about Big Talk and giving people something to do and give them hope during the pandemic.
And you would think, since people were inside, they were socially isolating, that this product, the sales might really drop off. But what was your numbers in revenue for this year?
About $83,000.
Then after we subtract out all the costs and everything, how much in profit did you do?
$38,000.
So again, and was this still relatively passive income for you?
Yeah.
And that brings us to last year, your 5th year selling on Amazon. And this is where you corrected a mistake that probably had been costing you over $100,000. And what was that mistake and how did you correct it?
Yeah, my mistake was that, for this little card game, I was paying the manufacturer $4 per deck, and I was ordering from Printer Studio. And then I started doing some sourcing research and looked at Alibaba and found a manufacturer who could make it for half the price.
And there is another mistake that Kalina made that we'll talk about at the end of the video that I think is an even bigger mistake than this that probably cost her even more money. So make sure you keep watching. But what else happened during 2021, your 5th year selling on Amazon?
So during 2021, I had been receiving a lot of requests for also creating an app form of the question card game. So I released a Big Talk Questions app that had questions from the card game as well as more in different categories.
And how much did you make off the app?
The app, a few thousand in revenue. And another thing I started doing was writing a book about how people can use Big Talk in their everyday lives, whether at home, on the street, at work, in school. So that's been an exciting project as well.
And this is another part of the flywheel. This is another node that as that book grows, it's going to sell more cards, it's going to help her speaking engagements, and everything continues to grow. And in your 5th year, how much in revenue did you do on Amazon?
Around $90,000.
And as we subtract out all the costs, there's actually one other cost that you didn't have before, and that was Amazon PPC. And PPC stands for pay per click. This is where you can advertise on Amazon, and it makes it so that your product will come up at the top of the search results. And every time someone clicks on your ad, you have to pay a little bit of money. And so you're hoping that every few clicks you're going to get a sale and that the math works out. How much money did you pay in Amazon PPC?
In Amazon PPC, I paid about $8,000.
And even though she spent $8,000 on Amazon PPC, it actually increased the amount of sales that she was getting. When you look at the numbers for spending that $8,000, it was over, I think, $16,000 in sales that came from that. Then after we subtract your other fees, what was the total profit in year 5?
Year 5 was $36,000. And on top of that, I had another bulk order for, I think, 1,000 decks of the card game for a woman in Europe who was using them for her training business. So that was about $10,000 in revenue. And then that year, Shopify also increased from $3,000 the year before to $6,000 in revenue.
And that brings us to your 6th year selling on Amazon, which is this year, which is not all the way done yet. And one really big thing that happened this year is I actually met you at a Big Talk event. I was just randomly going to the park next to my house, and Kalina was hosting an event there. I started talking with her. I saw that she has this amazing product, and I knew I had to have her on the channel. And so far this year, how much money have you done in revenue with your Amazon product?
So far, around $45,000.
And after we subtract out all the product costs, all the different Amazon FBA selling fees, all that stuff, how much has the profit been so far this year?
Around $19,000.
And anything else that happened this year that's really exciting?
So this year, I started leading live music Big Talk events for my community, and I also released the second version, finally, of the Big Talk question card game.
But there has been a few really big mistakes that you've made, and we're going to talk about the biggest mistakes, including one mistake that cost you over $100,000. What is the first mistake that you made with this business?
I mean, the first mistake I made was that in, going against the grain and starting my own business, becoming an entrepreneur, I felt really lonely. And Big Talk is all about fighting loneliness to build more meaningful connections. So I really had to examine the way I was leading my own life with Big Talk as well to correct that mistake. Because, I was traveling a lot to give a lot of events about Big Talk and helping other people make more meaningful connections while personally still feeling alone.
And this is a huge mistake that I made. I felt very alone when I first quit my corporate job and I was trying to start my e-commerce business. And I highly recommend surrounding yourself with other entrepreneurs, other people doing the same thing. But at the same time, make sure you still have friends that you can just go play sports with or do whatever the things that you love to do are. Agreed.
Yeah, I say friends always come first. Friends are everything. Friends and family and the people you love. And having something that really fills you up every single day. Like for me, it's surfing. So no matter how things are going with Big Talk, I can always just get in the water and surf.
What was the second big mistake you made with this business?
Yeah, over the past few years, I've had so many people who are really kind and inspired by Big Talk and have been telling me what I should be doing to grow the business. So I was listening to them and always getting so confused and, trying to start something and then it didn't really work out. When what I really should have been doing was following what worked, which was the card game, the videos, the speaking engagements, rather than trying to create these new revenue streams that no one was really asking for, but some experts were telling me I should have been creating them.
And this is the thing, you always know your business best. Definitely take advice from lots of people, but you have to filter it out and figure out what actually works for you. And this leads us into the third and the biggest mistake, the one mistake that probably, in my opinion, cost you over $100,000. And make sure if you're watching at home to pay attention. What was that mistake?
Big Talk began with a video that went viral, and it came from a place of passion. And I loved making that video. But once I started, following the shoulds, I stopped making videos and I stopped creating content. And I really wish I'd been focusing on that. Because, for example, a lot of my competitors, when I first started out, there weren't really any competitors for Big Talk.
You were the first product like this on the market.
Yeah. And then later on, a lot of competitors, focused on TikTok the whole pandemic. I never started a TikTok. I was very scared of it. And then Reels came out, and again, I was scared of it. And it's only this past summer that I finally started making content again. And it feels really good because I love interviewing people on the street. I love talking about Big Talk and sharing content and making videos. So I should have been doing that way early on because that's really a great way to grow your business.
And social media is a huge opportunity. I partnered with a student on this product right here. He went on TikTok, went viral, and in his first year ever selling on Amazon, he's done over $500,000 in sales. And if you want to start your own Amazon FBA business, I have a free 5-hour Amazon FBA course for you right here. All you have to do is click on this video. It's a YouTube video that goes in depth about step-by-step how to start your own online business. So click on that video. I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.